Let us talk about profile class in the current session. In the earlier session we have seen how to create payment terms. Let us talk about profile class, customer profile class in this current session. Basically, profile class is used to group customers with similar business volume, payment cycles and credit worthiness. Under each profile class we can define information such as payments, payment terms, invoicing and discount information, tolerance and statement cycles, dunning and statements. Okay, and we can also define information currency where credit limits will be defined for your finance charges wherever you do business. By using order management responsibility, we are gonna define customer profile class. Let us this is a part of profile class, order management customer profile class. Okay, basically profile has generic options. By using them we can group your customer into broad categories, right? For example, the customer who pays the customer who pays on time, the customer who pays on time the customer who pays on time will get an additional discount. Okay, and the one who pays who makes the late charges, who makes payments late, will get additional financial charges. Okay, and the last one for prompt paying customer with favorable credit limits. You can also use this profile class default which system provides. Let us get into the application and try to implement the same in the system. As I said, go to order management responsibility, go to order management responsibility, setup, one second, yeah, go to setup customers, then select profile class. Okay, and pass the name of the customer profile class. What I do is I'll just give the profile class name is YZ profile class. I'm just taking it. Okay, for namesake I'm taking like this, nothing else. YZ profile class is the name of the class I given, and by default this button, active button, will be auto enabled. That needs to be enabled. As I said, we have three. Okay, profile class, late charge profile class, amounts. As I said, profile class is the one who pays on time. Okay, the one who pays on time will get an additional discount on the actual. And late charge profile is the one, the customer who pays after the actual payment date will get an additional charges on the actual outstanding. Okay, let us talk about under profile class. Let us see on profile class you will be able to see the details here, like payment terms, invoicing, statements and dunning, collectors, receipts. Under late charge profile we'll be able to see enable late charge. If you enable this, then we need to define some of the details here. Okay, let us go to profile class, balance forward billing. Okay, I don't use this is an optional one, but still I'll just show you what to do. On enabling this, what will happen is we'll be able to see these two tabs will be enabled parallelly. Then bill level will be at two levels, account level or site level, and type will be at a detail level or summary. Okay, so what I do is I'll just just for your info, I'll just show you. Account means single one, site is a combination of multiple sites. Okay, if I select site, it will have multiple sites actually. Account is nothing but a single account. We may have multiple sites, right? And on selection of account we need to select even the type as well. Let me select a summary for whereas I don't want to use this, so I'll just disable this. Okay, next go to terms. What are the payment terms and conditions you want to allocate for this customer profile? That needs to be selected from the drop down. In the earlier session we have created profile class called Tata, if you remember. If you want, you can select the same, or else you can leave it as it is. Okay, what I do is I'll just select this. If the payment is made within 10 days, then 3% discount will be customer gets 3% discount. Okay, if the payment is made within 10 days, then 3% discount will be applicable. I'll just select this. Okay, this is not mandatory, you can select the same. On top of this payment term, do you want to allow discount or not? Do you want to override the terms and conditions? Override terms. If you want to override, you can enable the checkbox. By default it will be enabled. Both allow discount and override terms both will be enabled. If you don't want to enable them, then you can disable the same. If you want to provide the discount grace periods, discount grace days, you can define the same. I don't want to define any discount grace days. If you want, you can define the same. And coming to collectors, collectors is the one who is going to collect the payments, and the one who is going to collect the payment from the customer. Okay, and we need to define the name of the collectors here. He may be a accounts manager, he may be an accountant, he may be general manager, or he may be some name. And okay, he may be some name. So what I do is I'll just select as account manager here. He may be a controller. See, he may be a controller, he may be a account manager, he may be accountant, whatever it may be. What I do is I'll just select as account manager. And classification is the classification of the collectors. He is a new customer, he is at high risk, he is at low risk, or new customer, high risk or new risk or moderate risk. What kind of he belongs to? Okay, that needs to be selected. What I do is I'll just select as new customer. And period review cycle, we will have multiple period cycles like weekly, monthly, annually, weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly, and all. What I do is I'll just select as weekly. I'll just select as weekly. Okay, periodic review cycle and analyst. Okay, if you want to select, you can select the analyst here. I am not going to select anything, I'll just keep it as it is. If you want to give some tolerance, means you can give the tolerance percentage. By default this credit check will be enabled. Okay, and go to invoicing. Under invoicing table, now tax printing will have multiple options like total tax only, some taxes, summarized by tax name, recap, item wise with recap, and all. We have multiple options, out of which what I do is European tax format and all. Out of which what I do is I'll just select total tax only. Grouping rule, basically as grouping rule, this grouping rule we will be flowing from my system options. This grouping rule is flowing from my system options. What are the options we have defined? Basically we have grouping rule is like to group invoices. We have standard predefined grouping rules exist in our exist, whereas if you want to define a customized grouping rule also we can define the same. What I do here, I'll select the defined grouping rule. We have grouping rules, standard define standard grouping rules like project grouping rule. Okay, default grouping rule I have, and we have some other grouping rules also. We can even create new customized grouping rules as well. Here what I do is I'll just select grouping rule as default, and under statements and dunning, by default this will be enabled. Do you want to send a statement to the customer, yes or no? By default it will be enabled. If you don't want to send, you can disable the same. Send credit balance, do you want to send or yes or no? I just want to send, I'll just keep it as it is. Send dunning letters to customers. Dunning letters are nothing but outstanding to the customers, and outstanding regarding outstanding to the customers, regarding outstandings, about the outstanding, what are the outstanding we need to get, but that the letter will be sent to the customer. Cycles, okay, do you want to send it in monthly, yearly, weekly, or whatever it will be? How do you monthly 25th, quarterly, or weekly? How do you want? I'll just select as monthly 25th. Okay, letter sent on which format? We'll have multiple formats, out of which what I do is I'll just select a standard letter set. Okay, and later on under receipts we have options like match receipt by sales order level or purchase order level or transaction number. We have options. I am not gonna select anything, I'll just leave it as it is. If you want, you can select the same, depends upon the clients which they are gonna send this. Auto cash rule set. What I do is we have multiple options, out of which what I do is I'll select it from standard. Okay, remind rule set. If you want, you can select the same from the drop down as well. I'm not gonna select anything. I'll just leave it as it. By default, auto received include disputed items will be enabled. Just save it now. Grade classification. What I do is I'll just select and just select as moderate risk. Okay, just save it. Okay, save. Now what I do is I'll just copy paste the name of the profile class so that it will help me. Now go back to the here, enable late charges. If you want to calculate late charges, then we need to enable this. Charge calculation should happen on average daily balance or late payments only, or overdue transaction only, or overdue transactions and late payments. How do you want to calculate charge calculation? Once you enable this, then we'll be able to see this. 1 second. Yeah, so what will happen is thing is like if you want to enable this, okay, you got a message, right? Overdue transactions only. If you want to calculate charge calculation should head at what level? If you want to enable late charges, then on what basis you should on charge calculation should have it at average daily balance or late payments only, or overdue transactions only, overdue transactions and late payments only, or nothing. That needs to be selected. Okay, what I do is I'll just select it as overdue transactions only, and then what I do is additional charges and reductions. See, let me tell you one thing. Additional charges and reductions, credit limits, at what credit items are distributed transactions, additional charges and reductions, credit items. Late charge type, late charge type should be on interest invoice, debit memo or adjustment. Late charge type should be interest invoice, debit memo or adjustment. What I do is I'll just select as adjustment. And interest calculation formula should be on simple interest or compound interest. How do you want to select it as? I'll just keep it as simple only as it is. Interest calculation period, is it monthly or daily? I'll just make it as daily. Interest calculation should be at what level? Okay, days in period, received grace period is, I'll just make it as 3 days. For example, hold charged invoices, no. Charge beginning date, if you want to enable, you can define the date, current date. Use in multiple interest rates, no. Then go to, just try to save it, update it. Okay, it got updated. Go to profile class. Now the thing is, like, under here we need to define currencies, multiple currencies, against which we need to define multiple credit limits as well. Okay, profile class amount wise here, currency wise, functional currency wise. Let me define for INR now. Credit limit. Credit limits are nothing but, for example, if I have, for example, for example, there is a customer who had 5 orders. Okay, who had 5 orders. Uh, each order each order's worth is 5000 rupees. That nothing but 25,000 rupees. Okay, uh, he has made a payment. He has made a payment of for 3 orders. He has made a payment. Okay, and he has made a payment for first 3 orders, and 2 orders are completely outstanding. Is that nothing but 10,000 is outstanding. Now again he had created two more orders. Okay, and total outstanding, even those 2 orders also 5,000 total. 20 now total 20,000 outstanding. It has become total 20,000 outstanding, and he's trying to send us a one more order. He's trying to do one more order with us. He's booking one more order. uh, Thing is like, we are defining credit limit here. Okay, we are defining credit limit, saying that if any customer is having an outstanding of more than 10,000 rupees. Okay, if is any customer, if I mention here 10,000 rupees, then what will happen? If any customer profile class is having 10,000 rupees outstanding for all the orders, if he is having 10 orders, what system will check is, system will check 10 orders. System will check 10 orders. uh, System will check what are, system will check his overall orders outstanding. If the outstanding is going beyond the limit, whatever the limit we define here, then system will not allow him to create one more order. Okay, so I am defining a limit here, saying that if customer is having a if customer is having a credit limit, we are defining a credit limit here. If he is going beyond that, then we will not allow them to create one more book one more sales order. That's what the limit. Minimum receipt amount. Credit limit, this is maximum how much can be, we can keep, how much outstanding can be kept. Maximum, I'm just keeping 10,000 rupees maximum. He can keep an outstanding of 10,000 rupees for a collection of multiple orders. Okay, if he is going beyond the above the outstanding 10,000 rupees, then will not allow him to create one more order unless the previous outstanding is come down. Minimum receipt amount, I'll just make it as 500 rupees. Minimum statement amount, I'll just make it as 500 rupees, for example. Okay, and exchange rate information, already I have defined an exchange rate type, which I am gonna select. I define an exchange rate as corporate. Tolerance, minimum customer balance, minimum customer balance, tolerance, minimum customer balance, rate or amount. What I do is I'll just select as amount. Value I'll mention as minimum customer balance should be, what I do is 500. I'll just minimum invoice balance, just mention as this one also, for example 100 rupees. Okay, and the minimum charges per invoice. If you want to define, you can define minimum charge per invoice. Minimum charge per invoice and maximum charge per invoice, you can define the same. Minimum charge per invoice, if you want to charge some amount on the invoice, and maximum charge per invoice also we can define. Interest charge on fixed amount or amount fixed amount or fixed rate or charge schedule per invoice, or how it is. You can, what it is, I'll just select as fixed fixed rate. I'll just say fixed rate and I'll just keep it as 5. You can define as per the client's requirement. They are going to define this. If you want to even select penalty charge, you can define the same penalty rate. I'll define as penalty rate. I'll just define it as 5. And okay, and yeah, then go back to the at least minimum three currency should be defined here. What it is, I'll just define, as I said, credit limits, customer currency by credit limits. So I'm defining as in the earlier, what I do now, I'll define it as 12,000 rupees is the customer credit limit here. Okay, and in minimum, what I do is minimum receipt amount. What I do is I'll just define it as 420 rupees, for example. And minimum statement amount, what I do is I'll just define it as 420 rupees as well. And uh, currency exchange rate, what I do is I'll just select as corporate. And minimum customer balance amount and minimum invoice balance, I'll just make it as 100. Minimum customer balance is 100, minimum invoice balance is 50. I'll just make it as, and interest charge type, I'll just select as fixed rate. I'll just make it as interest charge fixed rate is 5. And fixed amount, I'll just give it as 5. Okay, then go to GBP. I'll just try creating one more for one more currency. What I do is I'll just make it as uh, I'll just make it as 10,000 rupees. Okay, I'll just make it as 10,000 rupees. And then I'll say minimum receipt amount. I'll just say minimum receipt amount as 100 rupees. And I just say minimum receipt amount as 300 rupees. And minimum statement amount as 150 rupees, 200 rupees. I'll just make and exchange rate, I'll just make it as exchange rate type is corporate. And minimum customer balance and minimum invoice balance, I'll just make it as 300 rupees, for example. And make it as 100 rupees. And interest charge fixed rate, and penalty fixed amount, for example 5. Fixed rate, I'll just make it as fixed rate. If you want, you can define the same. I'll just make it as 3, and I'll just make it as 3. That's it. If you want to define any other currencies also, you can define the same. That's it. Let me try saving the same. See here, on selection of save, we'll get an option. Do you want to update existing profiles, or update all profiles, or update all uncustomized profiles? I just want to update. Do not update existing customers. I want to update only this profile. So I'm just saving. Okay, it got saved. Okay, that's it. I have taken the currency, 3 currencies. Minimum 3 currencies should be defined. Save it. Now go and see once what I have done. Thing is like under profile class, as I said, we have 3. The one who pays on time will get an additional discount. Okay, the one who pays on time will get a discount. Okay, and the one who makes a payment late will get an additional financial charges. And there are some profile class amounts, and currency by credit limits will be defined for the cost. That's it. We'll talk about customer in the upcoming session. Thank you.